Hello and welcome back to the Snake and Crane Wing Chun Exposed series. After a super necessary detour to successfully debunk the individual known as the snake oil salesman, we now refocus our energies to where this all began, and that is to confront and address the falsehoods and claims made about Hawk or Snake Crane Wing Chun. As it's been a few weeks since the last video on this particular subject, let's get everybody back up to speed. When you strip away all of the noise and counter-arguments by the individuals pushing their particular narrative about Snake Crane Wing Chun, it really boils down to just three main points. The research of the Foshan Museum, especially the work of a man named Mr Tam. The belief that because the Foshan Museum operates under the authority of the Chinese government, that alone makes their findings unquestionable. And finally, the claim that the secret notes they promote are the oldest surviving documents, therefore proving everything they say. Spoiler alert, they don't. Now, the Foshan Museum being some kind of final word on Wing Chun history, or that it's some kind of infallible authority, is based on the same faulty logic that this particular group of individuals have been using to spin their narrative from the beginning. This group of individuals and their cohorts and their supporters will say, but they've got the full weight of the Chinese government and they've got researchers like this Mr Tam, so how can they be so wrong? How can they all be lying? And how would I even know? Well, I wouldn't comment on something that I hadn't researched and double-checked myself personally and thoroughly. To that end, I've actually sat down with Mr Tam, not just once or twice, but on multiple occasions for many hours. During these sit-down conversations with Mr Tam, I took the opportunity to ask him direct questions where people are using his name in order to legitimize the claims being made. This was interesting to me because the claims being made were different and sometimes in complete opposition to what Mr Tam had told me himself many times before.
至於個信息我第一次聽到，因為我就未，因為由博物館點樣入去，點樣做訪談，所有嘢都係我。
I think it's prudent that we first establish who exactly Mr Tam is. Contrary to what is being pushed by certain individuals, Mr Tam is not a professionally trained historian or academic researcher. He's a passionate enthusiast, someone with time and resources and an interest in Wing Chun. And while that's not a crime in and of itself, it does matter when people attempt to present his personal investigations as some kind of state-certified truth. Let us investigate the claims made in his involvement in the authentication process of the Snake Crane Wing Chun's secret notes. Mr Tam admits that he carried out no authentication process when receiving the notes. In regards to the museum, he handed these notes in and had no idea and no input on what kind of authentication process any experts used over there.
至於個信息我第一次聽到，因為我就未，因為由博物館點樣入去，點樣做訪談，所有嘢都係我安排。到底由交嗰日佢哋先接收咗，咁何來4年呢？咁舊年先至交去，咁何來揾咗4年出嚟？
On further questioning, Mr Tam then admitted that the museum doesn't actually authenticate or verify any of the manuals given to them. They simply collected them, and when I asked why, he said it was due to finances and manpower, and in fact, that many of the notes probably won't be verified in our lifetime. As one of the typical tactics used by this group, they would always appeal to authority and say, look, we've done this, and there was this special interview done here, or this article written there. To that end, there were claims made about Wayne Young being interviewed and videoed by the museum as if this was some kind of special honor bestowed only to him. However, it soon came to light that we actually knew others who had been invited and given the same treatment, as it were.
佢同阿 Wing 係做咗2-3個鐘嘅訪談，咁係至於佢當時係傳遞咗咩信息，人哋接收咗係記錄咗乜嘢咧？嗰啲全部係有錄像記錄嘅。你話佢嗰個理論係點樣？人哋接唔接受？我點知道人哋係接受咗乜嘢咧？但係即係呢啲資料由佢文字資料到口述資料，博物館都做咗個完整嘅記錄，按程序係完整接收咗嘅。非遺傳承人全部都經過呢個過程資料採集嘅。
What Mr Tam did say directly both on and off camera is that the museum simply received these notes from Wayne Young and that they were catalogued, not validated. That's a massive difference. To be clear, cataloguing means that they were added to the collection, not verified, not vetted, and not certified. It's like putting a letter into a filing cabinet and calling it evidence. That's not how real historical research works. When spinning their narrative, these individuals, particularly Wayne Young, presents this table that has many different bits of information on snake crane Wing Chun and its development and process, and using it as some kind of evidence to all of his claims. A part of that claim is that Mr Tam had also recognized and accepted the information therein. However, when presenting this table to Mr Tam, a table that Wayne Young had insisted Mr Tam had corroborated, he had this to say.
第一次見唔係呢個至於佢係當時仲有冇其他電子資料交接俾博物館，好似係仲有啲資料，但係具體因為嗰啲資料可能係一個腰盤冇打開我都唔知佢入邊個，的確係真係一個腰盤送咗俾博物館，但係博物館係收錄咗之後有冇認可，有冇邊個認證啊？我都不得而知嘅，因為一個理論，幫阿 Wing 佢提出佢嘅理論，呢個好正常。至於佢個學説係有冇經證實咗啊？有冇係俾人引用咧？呢個係另外一件事。至於係呢啲資料的確係送咗去博物館，博物館係接收咗。咁但係家人喺博物館做緊研究啊，或者係人哋有冇點樣引用啊？呢個不得而知，因為每間每派都有資料攞上嚟，咁多嘅資料，你點去甄別去點樣去鑑證佢？呢個係有時間有一個過程嘅，甚至無我哋呢代人鑑別唔到，下一代人先去鑑別佢。
And there you have it, quite a different version of events than the ones they led you to believe. It's amazing what can be found out with just a little bit of investigation. Something that I encourage you to do, even with the information that I present to you here. If you think that something doesn't sound right, or you think that there is a counter-narrative, then by all means, do more research, do research of your own, ping it over to me either in the comments or in direct mail, and I'll be more than happy to address them one by one. In the next installment, we'll be delving deeper into the interviews I conducted with Mr Tam. Some of the topics we'll cover are the theories that are being promoted in his name, his opinions on the research method and outcomes of Wayne Young's, as well as his connection and that of the Foshan Museum to the Chinese government and whether or not they really have their full weight supporting them. Thank you and see you in the next one.